international institutions, regional alliances, and the very unique case of NATO, which has not only survived, time tested, but also expanded. So first of all, which is the international institution, to which I call it a failure, and it has been a failure since it was formed. That institution is the United Nations, as well as most of its offshoots. They are big failure, and due to which what happens? I am a firm believer of theory of realism, and the theory of realism states that balancing of power always do happen in this world. So the main task of United Nations was to prevent situations of conflict, situations of war. But since right from its inception it failed, starting just after the Second World War, we saw a big period, we saw decades of Cold War, and that led to the formation of regional institutions. The big two ones, there were many more, but main were WTO, which is popularly known as the Warsaw Pact, and the NATO. NATO is still surviving, and the WTO was there till the collapse of the Soviet Union till 1991. There was CENTO, there were other alliances as well, but these were the main two alliances. And consider these alliances, or any alliance, let it be a military alliance or let it be other form of non-military alliance, these all alliances are also institutions. And any institution, it is very difficult to form, to grow, and also to die. And the institutions die only when the main power, the hegemonic power there in that institution, either it collapses like in the case of Soviet Union, or is not interested in continuation of that institution. Though some theories says that there is a bureaucratic type of setup in every institutions which want it to continue, but still I don't believe in that, because the main thing is power, and power is the driver for any kind of institution. So if the main powerful body, the main powerful unit, and what is the unit there? The unit is a country, the main powerful country or the nation, which is the driving force for that alliance or institution, till it wants, it will definitely continue. The same happened in the case of NATO. Now, why I am talking specifically about NATO? There is also one unique organization or alliance or institution which is in the process of formation, which is having two powers. It is bipolar. So I always say that even if the main power removes itself from it or take the back step, then also that institution, that alliance will succeed, which is known as Quad, which is the alliance of United States, India, Australia, and Japan. But why I am not emphasizing on that right now? Because it is still under construction. The work is under construction. So I am taking the unique case of NATO, which is time tested. And why I am saying that it is as far as the Quad is concerned, the Quad is a bipolar association or organization or institution, because there are two power pillars. One is the United States, which is on the extreme of the Pacific, and another is India. Even if the United States of America take the back step from Quad and India want to continue, the organization or the institution of Quad will continue. But now, if you want to look and understand why and how these type of military or non-military institutions or alliances survive or grow up with time, the best example and the unique example is of NATO. which was formed during the age of Cold War by the Western European bloc under the leadership of United States of America, and it was a competitor of WTO, the Warsaw Pact. And why it was formed? That time there was a power balance and power competition going on between Soviet Union as well as United States of America. So, and the unique thing about NATO is that it is not just a military association or military institution. It is a guarantee for the weaker state, a guarantee for security. The biggest thing of that alliance, the biggest point of that alliance is that if any one of the country is being invaded by any power, it will be considered as invasion upon all the countries, and together they all will resist and fight that power. So it is a guarantee for the small states under the hegemony of United States of America. Now, after the collapse of Soviet Union, there was no requirement of security. But as I told you, that organizations and institutions are difficult to make and more difficult to grow unless and until the biggest power, that the biggest unit, that is the nation, wanted to survive. And in this case, after the collapse of Soviet Union, it was the United States of America which was the biggest pillar of NATO. It was wanting it to survive. There were two reasons for it. The most prominent reason was that because America wanted that it must drive the foreign policy as well as defense policy of the European nations, and without NATO it can't do it. So to be a driver of the foreign policy and defense policy of a big bunch of progressive as well as economically big power countries, technically developed countries, economically developed economies, is a great job. So America never wanted that NATO must collapse, rather it wanted it to grow. Secondly, so definitely it is a big market for American arms and ammunition industry. So there also America is earning. But this is the part of America. What about Europe? Why Europe is interested? See, Europe is interested because my analysis goes that for the survival of the European Union, NATO is compulsion. If there is no organization like NATO under the leadership of a big power like United States of America, these small states of Europe like Italy, France, Germany, previously even Britain was there in European Union, they will start competing against each other. They will start the war of piling up of weapons against each other. The process of domination and the competition of domination by one country to the other country will start once again, like it did before First World War, like it did in 18th century, like it did after before the Second World War. That process is halted, and the European Union is continuing as an common economic and common currency pool just because of the hegemony of America and the presence of NATO. Because of NATO, these small countries, these progressive, developed in forms of money, technology and institution wise as well, these small developed nations would have fought against each other, competed with each other, and the European Union and the common Euro market would have collapsed. So the presence of America is a success, is a reason behind the continuity of the European Union. Another thing, just look at the psychology of Europe from the historical prism. European countries can accept the hegemony of somebody who is far away from the mainland Europe. In that case, America. but they will not accept and will never accept the hegemony of some country among themselves. We have seen for 100 years, Great Britain and France fought against each other. We have seen how Germany fought with everybody, literally everybody. We have saw the case of Italy. We have seen the case of Portugal and Spain. So these are small countries fighting among each other. So they can't accept the hegemony of one of them in the European Union, but the presence of NATO guarantees the check and balance. So because in this world, check and balance is required, essential when it comes to power. So the presence of NATO in the leadership of America, in the hegemony of America, stopped that competition. That is the reason NATO is not only surviving but expanding. Now coming to our region, that is South Asia and Indo-Pacific. Now here also the balance of power is required. If China is growing, then another counterbalance to the power in the region is required. That is the reason I am saying that Quad is having future. Even if America takes back steps, other people will come here and join the club. You can have Vietnam, you can have Indonesia, you can have Malaysia, you can have South Korea, and that will be under the leadership of India. And India will definitely want hegemony among these countries in the region to counterbalance the power of China. And that doesn't go against the law of nature, against the law of theory of realism. It is going with the law of nature as well as theory of realism, because balancing of power is there. So next time when we will talk more about this theory of realism, neo-realism and constructivism. Goodbye, good luck.